Hi there, I'm Ben, an RV technician here at Lichtsinn RV. Today we're going to be winterizing a Mini Winnie 22R. Alright, first of all we're going to be on the outside compartment is kind of where we're going to start here. You can access this stuff from underneath your bed also, but to make it easier for here, there is a panel outside here in this compartment that I did take off so we can access the water pump. On the 22R here, we do actually have to have a couple things. So one of the things you're going to need is, you'll need your own winterizing hose. I've hooked this up to the water pump already, and we're going to hook it up to the side that has a little strainer on it. So you take the water line that's on that side off, and then you'll hook this pump up right here, or hook this hose up right here. A couple other things you'll need: paper towels to clean up after yourself, because RV antifreeze will stain, so make sure we do wipe all the sinks out and everything when you're done. We will need roughly right around 2 gallons of RV antifreeze. Make sure we're using RV antifreeze. The other thing we'll need for this is you'll either need a socket with an 1 1/16 socket on it. That's for the water heater. That's to pull our anoid rod out that's on the other side, which we'll do here in a little bit. The other thing you'll need, if you do take this panel off out here, is a screw gun. And then also to access your bypass valve for the water heater, you'll also need a screw gun too to take the screws out of the panel underneath the cushion. Okay, so our first step in here, if we look inside this compartment here, one of the first things you want to do is on the back side there you'll see a valve. So that's actually your tank drain valve. So one of the first things we want to do is open that tank drain valve. We want to drain that whole freshwater tank. It's a good thing to do this first and let it drain all the way, because once I pull this line off of that water pump, that water will come spilling out here otherwise. So drain that whole freshwater tank first. After it's completely drained, what we're going to do is we will take our RV antifreeze, set it right up here on this ledge, or if you do it underneath the bed, you can put it down inside there. Put your winterizing hose inside the RV antifreeze. Alright, now after you got that, now what we're going to do is we're going to go inside here and we're going to bypass the water heater. Okay, now that we're inside, underneath this rear cushion here, you'll have a panel right here that will have 6 screws in it. Take the 6 screws out. That will give you access to all of this underneath that panel. So this is where 2 of our low point drains are, and also our bypass for the water heater. So what we're going to want to do is bypass the water heater. So that's going to face straight up. There is a diagram right below it that tells you how to position that valve, but you want it to face straight up towards this tube going up. Now that actually will bypass that water heater, not allowing any RV antifreeze to flow into that water heater. It would just be a waste of RV antifreeze to fill that. So now that we've bypassed that, now what we want to do is turn our water pump on, which on the 22R here is located right above the stove here. Water pump's right here. So all we're going to do is turn that on. And now after we turn that on, now what we're going to do is we're going to go to every faucet and turn them on until we get a nice stream of paint coming out. So if I go to the kitchen faucet here, I'm going to turn it on until you just get that nice stream of paint coming out. Then you can shut it off. Make sure you do hot and cold. Just like that, shut it off. Now the kitchen sink's done. Now we'll go to the bathroom. Alright, so here in the bathroom, one of the first things you want to do is toilet, which just on a foot pedal. Push down again until you get a nice stream of pink. Here in the bathroom faucet, again hot and cold. Cool, do both of them. And then we also want to do the shower. So we're going to do hot and cold in the shower also. Let's see if I can jump to this side. There's our cold. And there's our hot. Okay, so the last thing we want to do inside is down by that water heater again. There's those 2 low point drains. We're just going to hit those really quick, just so those lines are completely winterized. So there's a hot and cold line low point. Just straight up. And like I said, just really quick, just so we get that valve and everything winterized completely. Okay, next thing we're going to do is we're going to head back outside. And we will actually go drain the water heater now. So that's a matter of pulling the adenoid rod. So let's head outside and go do that. All right, now that we're outside at the water heater here on the driver's side, we're gonna have our wrench with our 1/16" on it. So we're gonna open the panel here. One very important thing to remember with the water heater is that we wanna relieve the pressure first. So we're gonna open that up until there's no more flow or air or anything coming out of there. Let it close again. And then what we'll do is we will pull that out right there. So that's the anoid rod. So we're going to take that out. You can actually leave this out for all winter or let it drain completely and then put it back in. It's up to you. So once that drains, once you get that open, then we can actually pull this pressure relief open again. That will help drain it faster if you want to. Just remember to close that when you're done. Let it slam closed. So right now we're going to put this back in because we're completely drained. Close that. And then put that back in. With the adenoid rod too, once you see it get 75% depleted, pretty much once it looks like it's mostly gone, we are going to want to replace that adenoid rod with a new one too. All right, so then we'll close that. All right, now we'll go back to that side and I'm going to take some of that stuff apart at the pump there and we'll put everything back in normal operation. All right, so now back here on the passenger side where we started with the RV antifreeze. Again, we did that in probably about 1 gallon, but normally it's going to take you probably about 2 gallons to flush all the water and actually get it flowing good. All right, now what you would do is actually take our RV antifreeze off of there, and then you're going to want to unhook the hose from the water pump again. Make sure you hook your main line back up and tighten it. We don't need to really over tighten it because it does have a rubber gasket inside there, but make sure it is nice and somewhat tight. You could close your water valve back there now, just like that, once your freshwater tank is completely drained. And then after that, we could put this panel back on to close that all back off because we are done in there. And then kind of the last thing you want to do is go back inside. You can choose if you want to take your water heater out of bypass and open those low point drains again, or you can leave it in bypass for all winter and then just remember when you come back to it that you have to take it out of bypass. The last thing you want to do again is go wipe down all the sinks, or if you spilled anywhere, get all that RV antifreeze wiped up. Pretty much that's it. I mean, there's not a lot to winterize in this. It's pretty simple, and once you've done it a couple times, it gets really, really easy and you can get pretty fast at it. So that's actually winterizing Mini Winnie 22R.